Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about multiplying fractions and more specifically multiplying fractions by whole numbers. This is going to be the beginning of our multiplying fractions unit, and we're going to kind of pick up where fourth grade left off, do a quick review today, have a little bit of practice, and then we will move on to fractions multiplied by fractions. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you guys just a quick example here, and questions you're going to see today are like this. What is 1/2 of 4? Now, we have a fraction, we have a whole number, but we do not have a multiplication sign. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you guys is this. Anytime we have the word of, that is going to be multiplication, especially when we're dealing with fractions. So anytime I say 1/2 of 4, well, we're multiplying 1/2 and 4. If I say 1/2 of 6, we are multiplying 1/2 and 6. So the word of is going to be very important here. So let's make sure that we understand that when we are using the word of, when multiplying, that word is going to mean multiplication. So let's go ahead and think about this. And you guys already know the answer, but I'm going to make sure that we understand this not only from a numbers perspective, but from a concrete model perspective as well. So 1/2 of 4, we should already know that 1/2 of 4 is going to equal 2, and that's going to be my final answer. Now, what does that look like? I'm going to draw a quick model here. I'm going to go ahead and draw 4 boxes. There's a couple ways to think about this. I have 4 boxes. Well, what is 1/2 of them? So I'm going to take one out of every two. So I'm going to take this one. This is my second one. I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to take this one. So I have 2 boxes. So 2 out of the 4 boxes. Now, another way that we can think about this is I'm going to draw 4 here. And each one of these 4, I'm going to split into halves. So I'm going to take 1/2 of each. So now I've taken 1/2 of each, and we should know that these 2 halves are going to equal 1. These 2 halves are going to equal 1. Add those together, I'm going to get 2. So if I take 4 halves, it's going to be 2. Now, those are the concrete models that you guys are going to be able to see. The other thing that I want to explain to you guys is this. There is an easier way. So if I take 1/2 times 4, and what does that equal? Now, we all know that all fractions are division problems. But when I'm looking at this whole number right here, this whole number 4, how do I make that a fraction? So in our minds, we need to think about, well, 4 divided by what would give me 4? So 4 divided by what would continue with the same number of 4, but still make this into a fraction? Well, that number would be 1. So any whole number we have, if we put the number 1 below it, I have now made that into a fraction, but it still equals 4 because 4 divided by 1 is 4. So 4 over 1 is the same. Now, let's go ahead and here's how we multiply. And I know this is going to be really hard. All we do is multiply 1 times 4 and 2 times 1. So 1 times 4 is going to be 4. 2 times 1 is going to be 2. If I divide that out, 4 over 2 or 4 divided by 2 is going to equal 2. So again, my numbers are going to equal the same no matter what I do. It's just how are we going to think about it? Now, as you're working today, you are going to see some models, you're going to see some number lines, and I'm going to go over all those with you. But this is not a hard concept for us, okay? And I'm going to go over a couple examples here for us before I set you guys free to work on it. So make sure that you have your whiteboards out. You are ready to work with me. When I ask you to pause the video, pause it, work out the problem, restart the video so you guys can see the answers. So let's go here. This one, I'm going to ask you to take one, or I'm going to do this one actually. I'm going to take 1/4 of 12. Now remember back to our rules. Instead of this word of, we're going to replace that with a multiplication sign. So I'm going to take 1/4 times 12. And how do we make any whole number a fraction? Well, we're always going to put that number 1 below it. So to multiply, this is the easy part. I multiply straight across. 1 times 12 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4. A 12 over 4 is the same of saying 12 divided by 4, and 12 divided by 4 is going to equal 3. So 1/4, back up here at the top, 1/4 of 12 equals 3. Now, if I draw 12 boxes very quickly, I say very quickly, I'm working on it. And I divide each one of these 12 boxes into fourths. And I take 1/4 of each one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm taking fourths here. I'm not going to take the time to shade them all in. So in each row here, I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. And that will equal 4/4 or 1. So each row is going to equal 1. Well, if I add all those up together, I get 1, 2, 3. Same answer as 3. All right, same answer as 3. All right, so let me try to find a way to erase this easily here. And then let's do a couple of more. I want you guys, so now you guys are going to try this one. And if you're feeling like you're pretty good at this, I want you to both do number one, the multiplication, and I want you to make a model for me. And I'm going to do both. So for the question I want you guys to start with, I want you to do it. Pause the video, work it out on your whiteboard, come back and check your answer. I want 1/3 of 6. Give me 1/3 of 6 or 1/3 times 6. Go ahead and pause the video, work it out, come back and check your answer. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and check our answers here. So I'm going to take 1/3 of 6. I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to draw 6 whole numbers. I'm going to divide each one into thirds. That's what my fraction tells me. And I'm going to take 1/3 of each one. So 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So technically, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6/3 here. And 6 divided by 3 is going to give me 2. Now, how did I get 6/3? Well, I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 here, and lastly 1/3 there. That all equals 6/3. Now, if I want to take this and multiply it easily, remember the word of is multiplication, so I take 1/3 times 6. And how do I make any whole number a fraction? I put a 1 underneath of it. And to multiply, we're going to multiply straight across. So 1 times 6 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. I am going to get 6 divided by 3. My final answer is 2. Either way you guys found that, I am okay with it. I know most of you are going to prefer to multiply straight across. I am good with that. I just want to make sure that you understand these concrete models and how we are getting these and what those look like. So let's do a couple more problems here. I'm going to give you guys some different ones. I'm going to want 2/3 of 12. And the second one I want you guys to do is let's do 4/5 of, and let's do 10. 4/5 of 10. I want you to go and pause the video, work these out, and resume the video when you're done. All right, guys, so let's see how we did here. So again, I'm just going to go quickly through these. Just as we multiply across, I'm not going to make 12 boxes, 10 boxes, take 2/3, take 4/5. We're just going to multiply across, see how we did here. So again, instead of this word of, it's going to be a multiplication sign. So 2/3 times 12. And anytime I want to make a whole number fraction, I put that number 1 under it. Multiply straight across. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, awesome. And then let's go here. Again, if we do end up with a number greater than 1 today, I want to go and simplify that, either number 1 into a whole number or number 2 a mixed number. Here, I'm giving you guys whole numbers. Here in a second, I'll give you guys one mixed number. So again, I'm going to change this of to a multiplication. So 4/5 times, and then any time I want to make a whole number, a fraction, I put a 1 under it. So I have 4 times 10 is 40, and 5 times 1 is 5, and 40 divided by 5 equals 8. So 8 would be my answer. 8 would be my answer. All right, so let's do one more question here. And this one, I'm going to give you a problem that you're going to get an answer that's greater than 1 that I want you guys to turn into a mixed number for me. So let's go ahead and look at that. As soon as I get all this erased. All right, so let's do this. Let's make it a nice, easy one. Let's do 2/3 of 8. So go give me 2/3 of 8. You are going to get a fraction greater than 1. I do want you to go ahead and turn that into a mixed number. So I'm going to pause the video and resume it when ready. Let's check our answer and see how we did here. So one last time. The word of is multiplication. So I'm going to have 2/3 times 8. Anytime I want to make a whole number a fraction, I put a 1 underneath of it. So here I'm going to get 2 times 8 equals 16. 3 times 1 equals 3. Now this does not divide equally. So what do? I have a number greater than 1. I want to turn it into a mixed number. So if you remember, the first number goes in, the second number goes out. 3 goes into 1 0 times. 3 goes into 16 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to subtract, have a remainder of 1. Remember, that's not necessarily a remainder. It is our, let me back up here. That is our numerator. So I'm going to have my 1 there, and then my denominator is always going to be my 3. So my answer here would be 5 1/3. All right, guys, so hopefully that is a good enough review from 4th grade. You're going to have some practice, and I'm getting ready to show you as well as a worksheet and also a lesson to do today to go over this. So I'm going to explain a couple things that you guys can get going with class today. Again, if you have any questions, you do have a sub there. If you need to go back and watch the video, do that as well. So let me go ahead and move to what you guys are going to see today. So for today, you're watching this video right now. That's good. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Next, you're going to have an iReady teacher assigned lesson, multiply a fraction by a whole number. That should take you guys all of about 10 to 12 minutes. It does count as minutes. It does count as a lesson pass. So please make sure that's done. For group 2 kiddos, you are going to be working on MyPath. You're going to skip this. I don't even know if I assigned it to you, but you're going to be working on MyPath. Next, you're going to be doing practicing fraction by a whole number. When you click on that, it's going to take you to Khan Academy. And this is a nice little practice session that I found. So there's going to be 7 total questions. You can see down here, 7 total questions. And it's going to ask you to multiply. So remember, this is 7 times 7, which is going to be 49. So I'm going to have 49. And remember, anytime I want to make a fraction, we can just put that back or that slash there. And I'm going to have 1 times 6, which is going to be 6. If I were you, I would work this out. Now, you can do this as number 1, a fraction greater than 1, or you could enter your answer as a mixed number. And I'll show you guys how to do that as well. All right, so I got that one right. I'm going to go to the next question. Now, this one is going to be a number line. So it's going to ask you, like, where does the dot need to be placed in order to make this equation true? Well, I'm going to take 5 times 1 and make it 5. And then 1 times 3 is 3. So 5/3 is going to be my answer. I'm going to take the dot. I'm going to drag that over to 5/3. Check it. It's going to be correct. Now, let's go ahead and make this one. I'm going to make into a mixed number. And again, I would expect you guys to be working this out on whiteboards. 6 times 8 is 48. 1 times 5 is 5. So I have 48 over 5, which is going to end up being 9 3/5. So here's how we would type that in. We would type 9 space 3 backspace 5. So that is the same as saying 9 3/5. Check my answer. I'm correct. Now, once you get through all 7 questions, it'll give you a score. And again, this is just a practice. So once you're done with that, you want to go ahead, and I believe I say one set. You're going to go ahead and move along to complete this worksheet, multiplying by fractions by whole number. And for you guys, you're just going to click on it. You're going to work it out on your whiteboard. And you're going to put in the answers, right? And you guys will see it's only 10 questions. Make sure you submit this to me once you are done. I did not give anything too hard. There are no facts that are going to be overly extended, so they're nice, easy multiplication facts to work with. All right, so let me go back to this and let me show you guys kind of what I would expect here. And it's the worksheet that you just looked at. So 1/3 times 9, here's how I kind of do it. As you see the problem, I just go ahead and put my 1 under there, and I do 1 times 9 is 9, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So that would be 9/3 or 3. So that's working it out exactly like I would like. Remember, if you get a fraction, you don't have to type it in as a fraction. You can type it in with that backslash. Anything else, you guys, make sure you raise your hand and ask questions to your substitute that'll be there. If not, hopefully I will be back soon and this goes well for you guys. So you guys have a good rest of the day and I'll see you soon.